Yo, hello. We are here with Amairo Chocolate 2, and I am very excited about this. I am very excited to play through this second game, not only because I get to play through Nana's route, but also there seems to be a third character on the title screen. So does that mean there's going to be potentially 3 routes? Who knows? But you know, when I first opened up the game, I was hoping, nay, I was coping, because as you can see, this game is still it's still in 720p, which is absurd for a game that came out 3 years ago. I was gonna say 2, but it came out 2023, so I can say 3 years ago, even though it definitely came out later in the year. But regardless, you know, I'm fine with that. I guess. There's not really much I can do, right? Even if I tried to use like Magpie to upscale the game to quote unquote 4K, it's still not gonna look that good on the edges, right? So fuck it, we're going native resolution, or yeah, never mind. Either way, that's enough rambling on. Alright, I'm still not looking forward to the H scenes. Alright, if you know, I very much disliked them, and I don't know how much they improved in terms of how they write, or I guess how the H scenes are translated, I guess. But you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But until then, let's jump right into it. I'm very... how do I say? Of course, play in English. I don't speak any other language. I just know a bit of Japanese, but I'm not playing in Japanese. December 26th. Aha. A fun, if busy, Christmas has come to a close. Farewell to Jingle Bells until next year. Today, the curtains open on a daily routine. Or so I thought. Okay. So, I played through the normal route, I guess you can call that. Call it the normal route, right? It leads into the it leads into the harem route in the 18+ version of Amairo Chocolate 1, right? And I said that the normal route would serve as the canon route into Amairo Chocolate 2, and it appears to be that appears to be the case, because we're ending off after the Christmas party. Oh well, a few days after, but still after the Christmas party. Today, the curtain opens on a new daily routine. Or so I thought. We're already off to a great start. The first CG has a panty shot in it. I'm very... how do I say? I'm very interested to see what the all ages version would show, right? If it's going to, you know, crop like this part, it's just going to zoom in closer to her face or something, right? I don't know. But, you know, as the first CG, it's not like the game can't show it, right? I was debating whether or not I should change the opacity of the text box, but you know, I'm gonna leave it as is. There is a petite, adorable young girl with large, round eyes, and those beautiful eyes of hers, filled with panic, fixed right on me. There are tears forming in them, and her youthful appearance, it makes me feel guilty for some reason. So who are you? And why didn't I see you in the last game? The reason this happened, you see... Flashback. Already? A girl with her long hair tied in twin tails pulls down a retro-looking mechanical lever. When she does, a slightly viscous brown liquid comes pouring out of a bifurcated spout and into a small cup. Okay, listen, I played through the first game. I know how coffee making works, alright? I was literally getting recommended how to foam and steam milk by the end of the game. You don't have to go through this again. This is how you describe making a coffee when you're trying to reach a word limit. All right, I said that they're trying to reach a word limit with the H scenes. This is how you reach a word limit.
おーし、今日もいい出来だ。苦っ。やっぱエスプレッソは砂糖かミルク入れないとあれだな。
Nana, you're drinking the coffee again.
だからマシンの試運転だって。営業始まってから壊れたら大変だろ。
Okay, there are a few reasons why you would test the machine. Which one is which reason is she going to use? Nana practically cackles as she mixes a heap of sugar into her espresso. It worked fine yesterday, so I think it should be fine now.
それに腕がなまっちゃいけないからな。バイトだろうと手を抜かないんだよ、私は。
Okay, so her reasoning is only because she doesn't want to get rusty.
ナナちゃんってば。
A very basic reason. When the shop's not open yet, or when there aren't any customers, we can usually catch Nana making herself some coffee, and she still tastes it because she needs to make sure that the base espresso tastes good, but not to her standards. Ichika, who has known Nana for a long time, smiles wryly because Nana doesn't like the bitter taste of black coffee.
おはようございます。
Just then, Mikuri and Chieri walk in, having just changed into their work uniforms.
おはよう。昨日は楽しかった？
I mean, okay, to be fair, there is a 2-year time span, not in terms of where we are in the timeline of the game, but in terms of when they were released, right? Amairo Chocolate 1 was released 2 years before Amairo Chocolate 2, and Amairo Chocolate 3 was released last year. So it was 2 years after 2. So I guess we can go through this whole rigmarole, fucking McGee, even though, you know, you only saw the last episode of Amairo Chocolate 1 like a few days ago.
すっごく楽しかった。クリスマス。はい。
Oops.
あんな賑やかなクリスマス初めてで、私もとても楽しかったです。
Already off to a great start.
クリスマスを誤解している気がしますけど。すっごく楽しかった。クリスマス大好き。ゲームももっと勝てればよかったんだけどな。ハンデがあろうがお前らには負けねえよ。
Brother, another flashback? A flashback in a flashback? Yes, yesterday was Christmas Day. There was a Sataria Christmas festival, and then afterwards we had a party together. We ate our fill of delicious cakes and other dishes, and we played video games until our fingers hurt. There were some issues that came up, but I think this is the most enjoyable Christmas I've ever experienced. There were some issues, most notably to do with concerning Chieri and Makuri and what they did with you in the dorm room lounge. But we don't talk about that because that only happened in the 18 plus version, and we know that the 18 plus version isn't canonical, so we can skip over that. We don't need to worry about that. But Chieri seems to be a little tired.
ただでさえフェスで忙しかったのに、パーティーもあったので少し体が重いです。セタリアにあんなにお客さん来たの初めてだもんね。
Actually, I'm feeling a little tired too. More than a little, if I'm being honest.
獣人の私が疲れているんですから、人間の白川さんも疲労して当然ですよ。
Chieri is petite, but she's a beast folk, so she has more stamina than a human like me. The same goes for Makuri.
お前ら、根性が足りねえぞ。去年はスイートテールのクリスマスに駆り出されたが、あっちはセタリアの日じゃなかったぜ。
あの後は私たちもヘトヘトだったからね。でも今日はお母さん、店長が午後から入ることになってるから、午前を乗り切ればお休みだよ。
その代わり、私とイチカは午後からスイートテールでバイトだけどな。
Nana's shoulders droop, while a pained smile crosses Ichika's face. Even though they're both used to being more busy than Chieri is, they're probably pretty exhausted too.
店長って全然店にいないよな。店長のくせに。
Yeah, but you know, you work in a coffee shop, just be like, you know, I'm not drinking espresso to perk myself up. I'm doing it because I need to make sure that my skills of brewing coffee haven't rusted. Right, Nana?
ごめんね。お母さんいろいろ忙しくて。
別にイチカが謝ることじゃねえよ。だけどイチカとはあんま性格似てねえよな。あの人結構適当だし。
Chalk and cheese. Usually it's water and oil, but I've never heard this expression before. I've never heard this version of the expression before. Ichika's mother, Hinoka, is the manager of this cafe, Sataria, in addition to some other unrelated shops. Yeah, unrelated. Apparently Sweet's Tale is part of that unrelated shops. Those unrelated shops. The cake shop that Ichika and Nana also work at, Sweet's Tale is one of them. Yeah, unrelated.
でも店長がいなくても、私とちえりちゃんとゆずきくんがいるよ。代わりになってるんですかね。みんなセタリアの力になってくれてるよ。ありがとう。そうですか。はい。
去年のクリスマスはイチカと私以外いなかったからな。セタリアでクリスマスフェスができたのも3人が入ってくれたおかげだよ。だが人間がセタリアで働くことになるとは思わなかったぜ。
Yeah, I was kind of forced to work here. No reason though.
あの時は驚いたな。
I couldn't imagine why I was forced to work here though. Looks at the top of their heads. I was... Okay, I understand that my joke doesn't really... the reason he's looking at their heads isn't because of the joke I made. It's for a different reason, but, like, this is too coincidental. I'm a human, and all the ladies are all beast folk. The ladies are all beast folk. They have animal ears and tails, and possess greater physical capabilities than humans. I met them all the day I came here to Unigicho. Really? Well, this is unique. I didn't expect an option so early. Is this going to tie me into one of their routes? Now I am interested. I mean, I don't think so. I hope not. Right? But I am paranoid. Okay, so I don't need to worry about if picking either one will lock me into a route. But what's interesting is that the guide only says to pick Reminisce Deeply. So I am curious to see what Think Back a Little does. Is it just going to summarize less of what happened in the last game? Chieri led me to Sataria, and that's when I learned of the existence of the beast folk. I shouldn't be able to see their animal ears or tails, but for some reason I can. We beast folk have a rule. We must not expose our true identities to any human without a connection to us. I learned everyone's true identities, so in order to form a connection, I started working here at Sataria. And then he started dating one of...
耳が見えてたことより言われるまで気づかなかったことの方がびっくりだぜ。
You started dating either Chieri or Mikuri, but we don't need to talk about that because that's non-canon. I guess, unfortunately. Alright, now I want to see what Reminisce Deeply means. I came to this town on an autumn day. Really? It really is just an extended summary compared to the first option. And on that very same day, I met Chieri Yukimura.
セタリアです。よかったら来てください。
Chieri was working at Sataria, handing out flyers for the shop. When I arrived at Sataria, these two were working here. The daughter of the manager, Ichika Misono, and her best friend ever since they were little, Nana Maiba. Their personalities are pretty different, but they make a great team. But just as I thought, I would be relaxing after ordering a cup of coffee.
もしかしてこの耳見えてますか?
Now hang on a minute. Don't act like Chieri just said that out of the blue. The reason she asked that question was because you were staring at the tops of their heads for an extended period of time, an uncomfortable amount of time for them to not notice, for them to not get a hunch that you could see their ears. So what do you mean? Just as I thought I would be relaxing after ordering a cup of coffee. Yeah, you were relaxing by staring at the tops of their heads. They were all beast folk, and their animal ears and tails, which should be invisible to everyone else, were somehow visible to me. We beast folk have a rule. Okay, it's the same line. They were discussing how to deal with me, since I had broken that rule when... In came Mikuri Amamiya, a shrine maiden from one of the beast folk homelands. Many beast folk hide their identities and live in human society. The beast folk homelands are places where only beast folk live, and Mikuri came here from one at the behest of the gods.
獣人の掟はあくまで身内以外の人間に正体を知られてはいけないというもの。
Okay, why are you going to... If you're going to restate the rule, then why have a quote on it, of it? Okay.
だから、身内になってしまえば問題はありません。
Especially since the quote was also in the small summary. And so, in order to form a connection with them, I started working at Sataria. Really? And I'm living in the dorm above the cafe. You should have put a red arrow there. I can't tell if it's only the red circle. I can't tell if it's only the arrow. Never mind. The joke doesn't work because I misspoke.
耳が見えてたことより 言われるまで気づかなかったことの方がびっくりだぜ。
Okay, even the detailed summary was pretty short, so it's whatever.
ゆずきさん、獣人のことは誰かに話したりしていませんか？
And what if I did? Of course not. I haven't even told my father or my mother.
ならよかったです。獣人の存在が普通の人間に知られると大変ですからね。
You know, whether or not it would be that big of a problem if you told them, or even worse, whether or not they exist is a different story. Long ago, humans and beast folk had been at odds, with wars erupting now and again. As a result, beast folk who live in human society now hide their nature by concealing their ears and tails from human sight.
そろそろ開店の時間ですね。オッケー、準備できてるよ。
んじゃ、オープンすっぞ。
Well, time to look forward to another busy day. And that's what led to... Oh, never mind.
お客さん、来ないね。
We're still in the flashback. No, they're not. So much for that.
ま、昨日が特別ってことだな。
That's right. This is how a normal day at Satari goes. It usually doesn't get that busy, with most customers only showing up once in a while.
こんなに人いなくてもよかったですね。昨日はいつもの倍以上忙しかったから、まあいいんじゃないかな。
When there aren't any customers, we can chat, practice making coffee, and generally relax. Well, what do you mean, practice making coffee? Up to this point, Chieri and Makuri don't know how to make coffee, and neither do you. So what are you talking about? And Ichika's told us. Ichika told us to take the afternoon off today. Wait. Oof. Okay, it's either Ichika told you to take the afternoon off today, or Ichika's mum did, considering that they brought up that she would be coming in today, right? Whatever. The academy is closed too, so I can take my time. Who could that be?
ちょっとお使い頼んでいいか？スイートテールでコーヒーの豆が切れかけててさ、セタリアから同じの持ってきてくれると助かるんだが。
Okay, coffee beans, right?
いつもならこんなこと起こらないんだけど、クリスマスでスイートテールのやつら軒並みくたばっちまって。
That's an interesting way to put it. A colorful figure of speech aside, she's basically saying that Sweet's tale was so busy that they overlooked this. That's Christmas for you, I guess. I'll get it there as fast as I can.
お、よろしく。豆のことなら店長に聞けばわかるから。
I mean, I guess it makes sense that they would use the same coffee beans for both places, right? I mean, you know, it'd be kind of BM if one cafe, or yeah, it'd be BM if one of their places had better coffee beans over the other, right? But then again, you'd probably give those coffee beans to Sataria, but never mind. It's just more convenient this way.
あら、ゆずきくん、今日はお客さん？
This woman, Hinaka Misono, is the manager of both Sataria and Sweet's Tale, Ichika's mother, and also the landlady of the dorm I live in right now. We're connected in a lot of different ways, despite rarely meeting due to how busy she is. And just like Ichika, she's a poodle beast folk. I wish I could be, but no. I just got a call from Nana. I tell her most of what Nana said to me.
ああ、そんなことになってたのね。スイートテールの人には悪いことしちゃったわ。用意するからちょっと待っててね。
Hinaka doesn't show up at the cafe very often. Well, that's because she doesn't have a sprite, so I don't think the customers can see her. She usually leaves the actual running of the business to the employees. She's normally the manager, but in practice, she's more of a silent owner. Manager, can I ask a question?
何？答えられることなら答えるけど、言えないこともたくさんあるわよ。
Where's your sprite? You already have Sweet's Tail, so why did you open up Sataria?
そんなの決まってるじゃない。
Oh, she left it at home. Never mind. Nana had mentioned that it was the manager's hobby, but maybe there's a deeper reason.
私が喫茶店のマスターになりたかったからよ。
It doesn't get any deeper than that. But there wasn't. It really is just her hobby. The look on her face couldn't be more prouder.
喫茶店のマスターってかっこいいじゃない？住宅街の中にひっそりと佇む街のオアシス。渋くない？憧れない？
I mean, I guess, but you know, when you say people who run coffee shops, usually that would mean that they're, you know, running the coffee shop. Unlike them, you don't really have the time to do this outside of these rare moments. So like, you know, the manager's appearance is very fluffy. Is very fluffy and kind of like a poodle's, and she's very kind looking. If only I could see her. It's similar to Ichika, but just as Nana says, her personality isn't like her daughter's at all. In Ichika's case, I'm sure she'd run the cafe as a tight ship, even if she opened it as a hobby.
ところでゆずきくん。
Yes. The manager, normally carefree, calls out to me in a more serious voice than usual.
今更だけど、獣人のことに巻き込んじゃってごめんね。驚いたでしょ。
No, because thanks to you all, everything turned out fine. I feel like you and the others protected me. Protected you. And besides, I haven't felt lonely ever since I started living in the dorm. I was supposed to live on my own, but I like this much better.
そう言ってくれてよかったわ。私があなたを監視する立場なんだけど、なんだかそんな気がしないわね。
Yeah, because of you, I was able to fulfill my dream of being a visual novel protagonist. I feel like Ichika said something similar. It was the night that I moved into the dorm. Oh, we're still reminiscing.
すみません。少しいいですか？
Ichika? Yeah, let me get the door.
こんばんは、ゆずきさん。
I said Ichika? Yeah, different. There's a different way of me. Never mind. Ichika normally has a gentle air about her, but her greeting just now sounded a bit more serious than usual.
昨日も言ったと思いますけど、この寮に住んでもらうのはあなたを監視するためです。獣人のことを他の人間に漏らさないよう監視させてもらいますので、申し訳ないですけど理解してくださいね。
Yeah, that's fine. Actually, I'm glad to have you watching out for me, so that I don't lose focus and accidentally let the secret slip.
思ったより
I'm sure that's one way to put it.
そうなんですね。監視されるんですよ。
Oh, that's definitely one way to put it. That's because I understand why you have to do this. I trust you and everyone here, Ichika, so I'm not worried at all.
信じてるって昨日出会ったばかりですよ。
To be honest, I do have my own issues with this arrangement, but it seems like it's a bigger deal for Ichika, so I just raise my eyebrows and give her a resigned smile. Right. But if you were going to do anything else to me, you would have already done it by now. And that's why I know I'll be all right. None of you would do anything horrible to me.
こう言うと失礼ですけど、変わった人ですね。監視しているのを忘れちゃいそうです。
I might just be acting this way to get you all to let your guard down, you know?
そうだったら騙されちゃいそうですね。
If I really am under watch, I seldom see any sign of it. Ichika may have forgotten that she's supposed to be keeping an eye on me too. Manager, I look forward to our continuing relationship.
こちらこそ。はい、コーヒー豆。
Thank you very much. Okay then, I'm off. This is Sweet's Tale. It's a popular cake shop here in Unikicho. Sorry to keep you waiting. I brought the coffee beans.
サンキュー。カフェメニューがあるのに豆がないとか笑えねえからな。
Sweet's Tale has a dining area where customers can sit and enjoy their cakes.
ありがとうございます、ゆずきさん。お休みだったのに、わざわざすみません。
This is no big deal. This is no big deal? It's no big deal. Sure. It's no big deal. Thank you for the hard work, you two.
ほんとだぜ。昨日までクリスマスだったせいで、今日はスタッフ少ないしよ。
せっかくスイートテイルまで来たんですし、少しお茶していきませんか？で、ケーキはクリスマスで食べたばかりでしたね。
Well, I already had a lot of cake yesterday, but now that I'm here, I could kind of go for more. So I'll take you up on your offer.
じゃあ一番高いの食ってけ。もちろんドリンクも一番高いやつな。
Nice try.
ナナちゃん。
In the end, I order a piece of strawberry shortcake and a cup of regular coffee. No offense to Nana, but I'm going to stick to what I'm in the mood for.
飲み物と一緒にお持ちしますので、お席でお待ちください。
I sit down as directed, and a short while later.
お待たせしました。いちごのショートケーキとコーヒーです。
Really? I mean, okay, I shouldn't be this surprised considering Amairo Chocolate 1 was also very CG prone in the common route, but I didn't expect one so early after the first one. Ichika walks over to me, carrying a tray with my order on it. Her uniform, which features a pink skirt covered by a white apron, looks really good on her. The word enchanting comes to mind. It feels like the place lights up from her sheer presence. No matter how many times I look at her, Ichika steals my attention again and again. Come to think of it, Ichika is kind of like a shortcake. Really? Ichika has a light, fluffy personality, like whipped cream. She's also white and soft, and if she were a dessert, I'm sure she'd be sweet. See, this is the difference, right? Ichika, Yuzuki wouldn't have described Ichika like this if this was Amairo Chocolate 1.
ゆずきさんが持ってきてくれた豆で入れたんですよ。
Oh, I see. No shit.
豆の種類は変わらないから、味はいつもと変わらないんですけどね。
Ichika smiles mischievously. Whether she's being kind or playful, she looks adorable either way.
ごゆっくりどうぞ。
Thank you. First, I take a sip of coffee. It tastes the same as always, of course. But when I think that I was able to help it, Jesus Christ, when I think that I was able to help, it makes it taste just a little bit better. Now for the cake. Yep, it's delicious. The bitterness of the coffee accentuates the sweetness of the cake, creating a wonderful flavor contrast.
いらっしゃいます。あ、なんだ、お前らも来たのか。
来ちゃった。なんだとは何ですか。れっきとしたお客さんですよ。ちえりちゃんとみくりちゃんも来てくれたんだ。ありがとう。
お前らも昨日ケーキ食ったじゃん。
私はケーキが食べたいってみくりさんが言うから仕方なくですね。
Yeah, she wants a Mont Blanc.
ケーキはいくつ食べても美味しいもん。うまいろ
What? Over here. I turned to the the two newcomers and wave.
ゆずきくんも来てたんだ。奇遇だね。
Yeah, they asked me to bring some stuff here, so I decided to stick around.
二人はケーキどれにする？
Chocolate Mont Blanc.
おっと、そうだった。でもどれにしようかな。全部美味しそうだし。
Actually,
悩む。
to be fair, Chieri is a lot more dead set on chocolate cake than Chieri would be on a chestnut one.
私はこれで。チョコのケーキ？じゃあ私も同じのにする。
What'd I say? After deciding on their cake and drinks, Chieri and Mikuri make their way over to my table.
お邪魔します。すみません。ご一緒してもいいですか？
Yeah, it would. I mean, no, it wouldn't be alright, because this is meant to be. This game is meant to be for Nana and Ichika and that third girl. Of course, go ahead.
失礼します。
Even though we've worked together at Sataria for a few months, Chieri is still rather prim and proper. A few minutes after they've taken their seats, Nana brings their cakes and drinks.
お待ちどうさまっと。
It looks like you both ordered chocolate. You both ordered chocolate cake.
はい。オペラと呼ばれるチョコレートケーキですね。へえ、これオペラって言うんだ。
知らないで頼んだのかよ。
スンスン。お酒っぽい匂いがする。
洋酒のシロップやコーヒーを染み込ませたビスキュイ、スポンジ生地とチョコやらバタークリームやらを重ねたケーキだ。全部説明するとめんどくさいし、ついでに作んのもめんどくさいケーキだから、あと細かいところは自分で調べろ。
Nana, isn't this your job?
投げやりな説明ですね。オペラはその名の通り、フランスのオペラ座から名前を取ったケーキです。生地とクリームの層をオペラ座の客席に見立ててこの名前になったとか。由来は他にも諸説あるそうです。オペラ座？それもお菓子？
How can we explain this? We'll tell you when you get back to the dorm, okay? When we get back to the dorm, okay?
Hi!
It's been a few months since Mikuri arrived here from her homeland deep in the mountains. It's not surprising that she doesn't know what an opera house is, especially since I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't one here. I wonder how she would react to musical theater or that sort of thing.
ま、大事なのは名前より味だ。んじゃ、ごゆっくり。
Let's hope they don't get drunk off of the taste of alcohol. Oh, I say of alcohol, but what is an opera cake made with? I think it's bourbon. I don't remember. Nana waves her hand at us as she heads back to the counter. We all ate cake together, like this when I first arrived in Unigicho, didn't we?
そんなこともありましたね。では、やっぱりスイートテールのオペラは美味しいです。どれどれ？ちょっと苦くてスーッとする。
That would be the liquor that we mentioned. It's kind of a grown-up taste, I guess.
これが大人の味か。思ってたのと違うけど美味しい。お酒を使っているのでちょっと人を選びますが、オペラはスイートテールの隠れ人気メニューなんですよ。たまにお店にない日もありますけどね。
I'm kind of between rum and bourbon as to what opera cake, the layers of an opera cake are soaked in. But either way, right, surely they won't get drunk off of it, especially since, you know, the alcohol is kind of burnt off, evaporated, I guess. Wow, I didn't know that. Maybe I'll try some then.
白川さん、まだ食べるんですか？
I only had one piece of shortcake, and since I hadn't had lunch yet, I'm kind of hungry.
白川さんがみくりさんみたいになってます。
Well, here's a guy.
私ケーキばっかり食べたりしないよ。ちゃんとご飯も食べるもん。
But then again, I don't think Yuzuki would be able to eat 3 bratwurst, so... Still, my curiosity and hunger are getting the best of me, so I head to the counter to add to my order. Excuse me, could I have one opera cake, please?
ケーキのおかわりとか太るぞ。ケーキ屋で働いてる私が言うのもなんだが。
It's only a second cake. What do you mean? I doubt that they are that big too. So come off it. I mean, we worked hard during the Christmas festival, so it should be okay.
その油断が命取りなんだぞ。
That hurts to hear, but I can't resist that sweet temptation. That sugar sweet. Never mind.
いちかみたいなこと言い出したな。
私、そんなこと言ってるかな？
言ってる。ま、買ってくれる分には文句ねえけど。んじゃ、席に持ってっから。
Okay, thanks.
いらっしゃいませ。
When a new customer walks into the door, Nana greets them with a smile.
お持ち帰りですか？はい、ショートケーキが2つ、ミルフィーユが1つ。
It's been a while since I've seen that name, and I dread ever pronouncing this, because even see, here's the thing, right? With those 3 fucking, I guess the 2 German desserts, right? The fucking Schneebel and the other one, and that Czech one. Those 3 were fairly easy to pronounce after you find out how to pronounce it, right? I have heard the pronunciation of Mille fucking whatever, right? Mille Fule multiple times, and I still don't know how to pronounce it. No matter how many pronunciation videos I see. Nana takes the customer's order down. Ichika prepares the order and packs it up in a box.
ご自宅までは、はい、30分ですね。無料の保冷剤もお付けしておきます。
I head back to my seat to avoid getting in the way. And here comes Nana with my cake on the tray.
お待たせ。うちのオペラだ。
Unlucky Nana. Unlucky that Nana doesn't get her own TG. She's gonna have to wait a bit longer. Thank you. Time to try it. I cut a bite with my fork and put it in my mouth. This is delicious. It's sweet, It's rich and robust. There's so much depth to the flavor, and it's not overly sweet, so it's easy to eat. Well, I'm sure the alcohol flavor it helps cut down on the sweetness.
ですよね。私も初めて食べた時からお気に入りなんです。
The rum/bourbon flavor, whichever one it is. And I would hate if it isn't either of them, because when I picture, from my experience, I guess I should say, when it comes to desserts that use alcohol as a flavoring, right? It's usually always like rum or bourbon, right? So I can't really picture a different like alcohol being used to flavor an opera cake. And bringing me the coffee, bringing me the cake, and then it starts clearing off some of the other tables.
合計で1800円になります。ちょうどいただきます。こちらお品物になります。ご来店ありがとうございました。
Just as the customer is walking out of the shop with their purchase, the bell rings again as a new customer walks in.
いらっしゃいませ。はい。誕生日ケーキをご予約の加藤様ですね。少々お待ちください。
Ichigo goes to the kitchen to retrieve the coffee. God damn it, I said it again. Cake. To retrieve the cake. As she does, Nana returns to the counter and starts taking care of the other customers.
こちらでお召し上がりですね。ドリンクはエスプレッソで。はい、かしこまりました。
They said that they were short-handed earlier, and they weren't kidding. It's just Ichigo and Nana handling things.
ちょっと忙しそうですね。お邪魔だったでしょうか。
I think it'd be about the same for them whether we're here or not. But since we all also work as wait staff, it's hard not to worry a little. However, it's not like we can do anything to help right now. I feel bad for Ichigo and Nana, since they're working so hard in the end, we enjoyed our coffee and cakes. Thank God I didn't say cake instead of coffee. Our coffee and cakes, then left the cake shop as soon as we could. Oh, this is different. Why is this so much... Why is this background so much more detailed than any of the backgrounds in the last game? After leaving Sweet's Tale, I take a walk towards the seaside park. I did eat 2 serves of cake, so I need to burn some calories. There she is. I wonder if that person is alright. A petite young woman stares at the ground, looking this way and that, a troubled look on her face. Wait. God damn it. Fuck! I actually want to go back. Maybe she dropped something. I don't care. Bro. I was trying to picture which fucking dog or cat she was. Is she a rabbit? Right? With how long the ears are, it kind of fits. And now that I see the tail, you know, maybe she dropped something. Her downcast eyes are full of worry and confusion, so I wonder if she lost something really important. If I can, I want to help her. Is everything alright? Yeah, okay. Well, if she was a cat, she would have said nya. And if she was a dog, I don't know what she would have said. I guess woof. When I call out to her, the young woman springs high up into the air. Well, we're back to the present now. She falls to the ground, landing on her butt. Are you alright? When I move towards her to help her up, she starts to tremble. Then she tries to pull back with her butt still on the ground. You didn't need to flash forward, alright? It was like one... it was one text box. You flashed forward one text box. Which leads us to now. There wasn't much use in recalling all of that. At least he's aware. The reason this happened is because I called out to her for all of a sudden. Sorry for startling you. You seem to be in trouble. You seem to be troubled, so I thought I'd ask what was going on. It's okay to... it's okay. I'm not going to do anything weird. That just makes me sound more suspicious, doesn't it? I talked to her to try and get her to relax, but it feels like all I've done is make her more frightened. But I can't just leave her be. If there's anything I can help with... Okay, now I'm very curious as to what they would show in the All Ages version here. I just realized this, but I could see something that I really shouldn't be looking at. I hurriedly avert my gaze, and then move to shield her from the eyes of any other onlookers.
どうしたんですか?
It's hard to just blurt out, "Hey, your skirt is flipped off." For now, I think it would be best if you stood up as soon as you can. Well, you got the message. I can sense her gulping in some air from the edge of my peripheral vision. She figured it out.
すみませんでした.
Yeah, especially with how long her skirt is, it's surprising that for such a long skirt, her first CG, for a character that wears such a long skirt, her first CG is a panty shot. Is pretty ironic. The young woman apologizes to me as she scrambles to her feet, after which I turn to face her.
さっき見えて、やっぱり答えなくていいです。
I don't think you want to know the answer. I'm sorry. My apology is as good as a confession, and the young woman's face turns red. It might have been better if I hadn't said anything correct, but I couldn't help but apologize. I'm very sorry.
すみません。
I bow my head to her, and even though she's done nothing wrong, she bows her head back to me, as if apologizing is some sort of habit of hers. I don't think there's any reason for you to apologize.
いえ、つい、謝らせてしまってごめんなさい。
Okay, so this is the kind of character she is. Well, that's a new reason to apologize, I guess. I mean, yeah, it isn't very... It's not very common in the real world, but in the visual novel world, there are a lot of characters like this. At this rate, the two of us will keep bowing back and forth all day, and so I stand straight once more.
他の人にも見えたでしょうか?
I don't think so. There isn't really anyone else here right now.
そうですか.
The park is popular since it faces the beach, but perhaps because the town's Christmas celebrations wrapped up yesterday, it's pretty quiet today. Thanks to that, the only people I see when I glance around are a few young women. I'm really sorry.
いえ、私が勝手に転んだだけですから、気にしないでください。
Things are still a little awkward, but she's trying to be polite to me. She seems like a nice person. Ow. While it might be in my own best interest to walk away and forget this happened, I can't just forget about how troubled she looked just a moment ago. So I'm going to ask her flat out. By the way, you were looking for something earlier, right?
それはそうなんですけど、
Do you mind telling me about it?
それはその
Still breathless with anxiety, she begins to explain.
私、お姉ちゃんに会いに来たんですけど、迷っちゃったんです。それに途中で落とし物も。
Is her big sister also a rabbit beast folk? That sounds pretty rough. Have you tried the local police station?
いえ、交番はちょっと人に言いにくいものなので。あ、違うんです。危ないものとかじゃなくて、とにかく大事だから自分で見つけようと思って。
I see. How about we look for it together?
いえ、それは困ります。
It looks like it's something that she doesn't want anyone else to see. In that case, it's not my place to meddle. Then how about we go to your big sister?
はい。広場にある餅月っていうお店にいるはずなんですけど。
Ah, shit. Looks like there's a third shop in this game now. Mochizuki? Was there a place called that in the square?
今度新しくオープンするお団子のお店なんです。今は姉が開店の準備をしているところで。
Oh, wait. No. I think I remember hearing about a dango shop in the first game in the Mikuri's round. It's just, now we're going to actually see it. I see. In that case, I can show you the way.
お願いします。
Does it... Is Mochizuki also owned by Ichika's mum? She responds in a meek voice, bowing her head just a little, especially since... how do I say this? Mochizuki is probably run by a beast folk, right? I'm sure she must be feeling very awkward, but her small precise movements are kind of adorable. I make sure to take smaller steps than usual, and stay heading for the town square. You know, when I first came to Unigicho, I got lost.
そうなんですね。
Really? As we head toward the shops, I'm reminded of the first time I came to Sataria. And back then, it was Chieri who showed me around, so this time the roles are kind of reversed. She walks a few steps behind me, looking at me with a mix of fear and tension. A mix of fear and hunger. Never mind. She's still on her guard around me, maintaining a fixed distance. Are all rabbit beast folk like this? Even if it was an accident, it still happened, so I can't really blame her. Speaking of accidents...
そんな上を見てどうしたんですか?
No. No, it's nothing. When Chieri was showing me around town, the window glass in one of the buildings broke and fell towards us. Thanks to Mikuri, both Chieri and I managed to stay out of harm's way. He's worried about another rogue flower pot falling on this girl's head. Nothing else was going to happen, right? I'm not usually this cautious, but it might not be a bad idea to keep an eye out for now. This is Unigicho's town square.
広い。
Don't worry, there aren't any flower pots around here. Well, there aren't any flower pots that are high enough above the ground that it would be lethal if they hit your head. if they fell on your head. When we arrive at the town square, the young woman's lovely eyes open wide. I wonder if I looked the same way when I first came here. I remember Mikuri's eyes sparkled as she said something about how amazing it was.
ヨーロッパみたい。
You could have said that from the first instance you saw Unigicho. You didn't need to... You were only reminded of Europe after seeing the town square. Apparently, Unigicho's founders came to Japan from Europe several decades ago, and we only find out in Mikuri's route that the reason that happened was because they didn't want to be found out. They were constantly running away from people who found out that they were beast folk. Something like that. All the buildings had a bit of overseas flair added when they were built.
それでこんな風になっているんですね。
I'm pretty sure I heard that from Chieri. The young woman looks over everything, awestruck, and it brings a smile to my face.
不思議ですけど、なんだか素敵です。
I'm glad to hear you say that. I've only lived in Unigicho for a few months, but maybe because I feel like a resident now, it makes me happy to hear the town praised.
お店は周りと雰囲気が違うからすぐわかるってお姉ちゃんが。あれかな。
I walk forwards with the young woman and... Oh.
ここですね。
I was confused as to when she said there was a different atmosphere from it, from other shops around it, but yeah, no shit, considering it's the only Japanese-style building here. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, considering it's a fucking dango shop. So it is. There really is a shop. There really is a shop here. Mochizuki. Up until yesterday, I've been so busy with the Christmas festival that I didn't notice, but there's been a shop here the whole time. It looks like a traditional Japanese-style place. Its wooden storefront standing out among the stone buildings, among the stone buildings around it. It's a stark contrast to the European feel of the rest of the town, but it has its own charm. Damn.
お姉ちゃん、いる？
Well, now we get the name Kaguya. You had to pick another. You had to pick the name of another character from Angelic Chaos. At least this time, it's a main character. When we go inside, a woman comes rushing at the young lady, grabbing her hands. I can tell from a glance that this lovely woman, clad in a Japanese-style waitress outfit, is the young woman's sibling. I'm glad that he's going to learn their names, so I don't need to constantly say young woman and woman, especially since, never mind. The family resemblance is obvious, if it wasn't for the ears and tail.
大丈夫だった？道に迷わなかった？心細くなかった？かぐやちゃんは夕凪町は初めてだし、ちょっと遅かったから心配してたの。でも何もなくてよかった。
But it looks like their personalities are very different. The young woman is shrinking in the face of her sister's force of will.
あれ？かぐやちゃん、その人は？
ちょっと道に迷っちゃって、この人に案内してもらったの。
それは妹がお世話になりました。どうも、私は百瀬美月と言います。
Mitsuki and Kaguya. Alright. I'm Yuzuki Shirakawa. She bows her head politely, and I return the bow with one of my own.
私、百瀬かぐやです。
Okay, we've been introduced to two new characters, one of which we will be dating in this game, which means that how am I blanking on her name already? Mitsuki will be dateable in the third game. Kaguya realizes that she hasn't introduced herself yet and quickly rectifies it.
やっぱり迷ったんじゃない。だから迎えに行こうかって何度も聞いたのに。
ごめんなさい。お姉ちゃん、お店の準備してるから迷惑だと思って。
かぐやちゃんのことなんだから全然迷惑じゃないよ。そういう時こそお姉ちゃんを頼ればいいんだよ。
Now that they're standing next to each other, I can see that they're about the same height. They don't seem to be very far apart in age either. They're probably one of... twins? I mean, I guess you can say that there's technically an older twin and a younger twin, but I was gonna say that there's probably a 1 year age difference between them. Are you two twins, perhaps?
違います。
Oh, I'm sorry. She denies it with great intensity. Her strident voice, tone of voice takes me aback.
私、こう見えても大人なんですから。
What?
その顔は信じてない顔ですね。これが動かぬ証拠です。
Okay. As she says that, she whips out her driver's license. The license has a picture of Mitsuki's face, and it lists her name, as well as the date of issue and expiration date. And her date of birth listed as being several years before mine.
どう？大人でしょ？
I can see that.
そして私がこの望月2号店の店長です。
Her date of birth is listed as being several years before mine. Okay, so she's younger than Chieri, right? I'm confused by how he stated that. Manager, Mitsuki puffs out her chest with a ha as she tries to make herself look a little bit bigger.
分かってもらえた？
Yes, my apologies. But as Mitsuki stands before me, I can't help but think that she looks younger than me. No, okay. I was misreading that. Her date of birth is listed as being several years before mine. He's not talking about her age. He's talking about when she was born. Jesus Christ! I don't know why it took this long for me to fucking realize that. So she's years older than him. Listen, I was confused as to why she had a driver's license if she was younger than him. When I was thinking she was younger than him, I didn't really question it that much. But okay, yeah, she's older than him by a few years.
そうだ、ゆずきくん。うちのお団子食べていく？かぐやちゃんがお世話になったお礼に。
But as Michika stands before me, I can't really think she looks younger than me. Now that I know her true age, it's a bit bewildering. Oh, there's no need. I caused a bit of problem for Kaguya too, so...
いいの。ちょうど厨房の試運転しようとしてたところだから。もちろん、お礼だからお金も取らないよ。
Caused a bit of a problem for Kaguya. With that, Mitsuki heads further back to the shop. And as she does, she falls over hard.
お姉ちゃん、大丈夫？
大丈夫。お姉ちゃんだから平気。
それってお姉ちゃん関係あるのかな？
Anyway, if they aren't 1 year apart, is Kaguya it'd either be Chieri's age or Yuzuki's age, I guess. It's a bit unusual for me to see beast folk that aren't the women from the dorm. And this is the first time I've seen beast folk siblings.
ゆずきさん、こっちじっと見てる。
きっとかぐやちゃんが可愛いからだよ。
Yeah, also because she's a beast folk, but they don't know he can see their ears yet.
そんなことないよ。
でも妹にちょっかいかけるつもりならガツンと言わないとね。
Well, that's a bit unfortunate, isn't it?
待ってお姉ちゃん、そういう感じじゃなさそう。
じゃあ私の大人の魅力にメロメロ。いやー、お姉さん困っちゃうな。
それもないと思う。
どうして？
もしかすると。
そんなはずは。
Huh? Wait, the way this is going.
変なことを聞くかもしれないんですけど。
God fucking damn it. Of course they're doing the same bit as last time.
もしかしてこの耳見えてるんですか？
No. It's going just as I thought it would. Well, maybe you should stop staring at their ears. The same question that I've heard before. And I know about beast folk now, so I'm not as shocked as I was back then. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stare. You see, I can see beast folk's ears and tails. Wait, those ears. There are long rabbit-like ears coming out of Kaguya's head. Rabbit? Okay, I was right.